Hello and greetings to my dear viewers. My name is Ariyasak Ting, and today I will be talking about the agricultural land management in Malaysia. Next, please. Next, please. Now, so before I go any further, let's make the question of this. What is the purpose of me talking about this topic? What does it have to do anything about us and our lives? The absolute goal of agricultural land management is to work towards sustainable agriculture. Now, each and every one of us have to eat, right? The food on our plates, those are the result of continuous efforts by the agricultural industry and the fellow farmers, and also the decision made by them and the authorities. It is through them that it is possible to have food on our plates. And ideally, they can keep doing it indefinitely and minimizing the harms on the environment and natural resources. Now, Malaysia being a country with such diverse agricultural landscape, from the smallest of farms at the countryside to the biggest plantations stretching countless acres. There's all sorts of agricultural practices and methods being made with the goal of achieving highest quality of produce and the output. But not every farming practices are sustainable. Thus, to mitigate this issue, proper agricultural land management must be made. Next, please. Now, on the bigger scale of farming operations, there are two main types of agriculture, one of which is plantation agriculture, or in other words, cash crops. Large swaths of land all around Malaysia are designated to become huge plantations with the goal of generating profits and fulfilling the demand of the market, the most well-known being the palm oil plantation. In fact, the palm oil industry in Malaysia is so huge and widespread. When you look at most rural areas, there seems to be endless palm oil plantations. So much, so that tells what agricultural land management is largely focused on. And so much until that we are the second biggest producer of palm oil in the world. Now, there are other plantations like rubber productions, but generally these are in decline with lessening rubber plantations and among other crops. Another type of food crop productions being rice, which is the staple food for us all. It is grown all around Malaysia with the largest production region being located in the northern states like Kedah and Perlis. Also to say the rice bowl of Malaysia, which accounting for half of the rice production in the country. Now there are also fruits and vegetables of various kinds across the countries, but most of these are on the smaller scale. And there's also mixed farming, which includes livestock rearing alongside crop cultivations. Now these are common at the countryside and mostly run by the smallholder farms. Next, please. Now, a significant portion of agricultural land, primarily in rural areas, are run by the smallholder operations, producing various kinds of produce, but often with smaller output, maybe at sustenance levels, with not much to spare for commercial sales, while large-scale plantations are run by big conglomerates such as Felda and the Sime Darby. On the authority level of land management, the policies and land management is often done at the state level and government. But the federal government also play a role in the policy development, particularly on strategic crop cultivations and environmental conservation. Next, please. Next, please. So what are the government policies? The government, through multiple agencies and incentives, with the goal of increasing food production and security, and to bolster economic production and export. So thus, they launched land development schemes through agencies like FELDA with the task of managing and developing agricultural land for smallholders focusing on palm oil and rubber, and FELCRA with the aim of rehabilitating and consolidating rural land to improve agricultural productivity. Now, agriculture practices in Malaysia historically hasn't been the most environmentally conscious, especially for large-scale operations like palm oil, where large swaths of the forest are cleared to become farmland, bringing various harms and destructions to flora and fauna. But the government has committed various policies to promote sustainable agriculture practices and addressing the environmental concerns, one of which is the MSPO certification in order to promote sustainable palm oil and combating harmful agricultural practices. Also, the government provides various subsidies and assistance, especially to smallholder farms, such as the fertilizers seen with the Visda fertilizer here, and the support prices to farmer and technical assistance. The policy of agriculture, back, 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 back. The policy of agricultural expansion and the pursuit of higher exports and profits has led to significant destructions. Sorry, next. Like you see in the background here, and so many other places in Malaysia where it used to be thick rainforest, but now it's palm oil plantation, leading to significant harm to the environment. However, there are efforts to balance the agricultural expansions and the conservation of Malaysia's rich biological diversity. Also, unchecked farming practices with monocropping and water-intensive crops will lead to significant environmental degradation. So, with the practices such as crop rotation, cover cropping, and proper irrigations are encouraged to maintain soil health and manage water resources efficiently. There are also policies and research focused on developing climate-resilient crops and farming methods to adapt to changing climatic conditions. This is especially important in this ever-changing and challenging weather patterns and the ever-increasing drought. Next, please. Now, with the advancements of technology and research, it allows for new techniques to be applied to agriculture that allow for better quality of produce and being more efficient in land usage. One of which is precision agriculture with the usage of spraying drones, GPS, and Internet of Things for precision farming to enhance productivity and resource efficiency. Also, continuous investments in research and production through MADI to develop better characteristics and yield, while also being more disease resistant. There is also soilless cultivation through the hydroponic systems, which allows for plants to grow without soil, thus reducing the need for arable land. Next, please. So to conclude, the agricultural land management in Malaysia involves both traditional practices and modern techniques, and the operations are regulated by the state and federal policies with increasing emphasis on being sustainable and environmentally conscious. The government plays a big role to ensure the farming sector is supported while also ensuring sustainable agriculture that is amenable to the farmers, the environment, and the food on our plate. With all of these, we can be assured that the food on our plate will always be sufficient and our stomachs will be happy. That's all. Thank you.